Pretty sure the pump is on 3. That's what I was afraid of. And this thing is not actually working. I don't remember now. I made it accidentally plug this thing into the VRM fan. That is CPU fan 3. Back to this. No,
The battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the colony war.
But I'm watching the temperatures rise
the
faster than they should with
eye
this.
Of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data,
I just want to make sure that my crashing isn't temperature related.
Exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out.
Good luck.
Let me guess. You missed me, but you couldn't stay away.
While indulging in alcoholic beverages,
Make yourself at home.
operating heavy machines.
Fair warning.
Center on P1 is a good place to connect with others, or fulfill any spiritual needs you may have.
Yeah, this one was crashing last night during conversations, which was, as you can imagine, aggravating. So now I've gotten into the habit of quick saving every time I finish a conversation. There you go, Levi.
Captain Chris, greetings. Trying to get this ship moving.
Have any new books for me? Books? I guess it is. Do you have more books, or can... My book allowance is all gone and Dad won't get... So...
Hey, don't let her con you out of more credits. Her book allowance damn near bankrupted me.
Dad, this is between us.
See, there it goes. There's no event log. It's a Bethesda game. So, what is this? It's a new icon. Interesting. Might have to fully reinstall this. Let's try this. It seems to fix it for people.
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day. Books? I guess it is. Do you have more books, or can you... My book allowance is all gone. So... Book?
Hey, don't let her...
Dad, this is between us. Oh, Dad...
Well, now you done it. Now you can get pestered about books.
Yeah, a small... Now, the important question. And please don't say... Did you hear that, Dad?
We could always get one of each.
No, you lose. I have decided that I will stay. You have the Cora stamp of approval. I, seem to have left my stamp back on...
Pressure holding. Take off. RPG kick complete. Orbit steady.
Read sure. I'd like that very much.
We're just here to keep
You haven't asked me to do that in a long time.
And will you do funny voices for the characters?
This ship is
Like
armed.
you used
Not
to when I
interested.
was little?
You just try and stop me.
Don't mind us, just passing through. I can probably help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What is the UC Vigilance?
Welcome, Captain. We've been expecting you. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Why were you expecting me exactly?
Docking cycle complete.
Commander Ikande runs a tight ship, so I suggest we be on our best behavior.
I am satisfied to see that you survived.
Welcome aboard the
your
UC
recent
Vigilance.
sleep cycle.
Did you have any questions before I escort you? I'm not authorized to divulge information about this vessel. Suffice to say, it's one of the toughest ships in the UC's. Yeah, listen to him carefully. The commander's a one-and-done kind of officer. Other than that, just observe
So what quest is this? I guess we'll get to that in a minute. That's fun.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call but listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
And what's that?
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I
mean,
am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War.
Well, that's a
former head of the
curveball.
UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter.
I have a feeling he's still alive somewhere.
The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be for... I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
We give it a
while
follow.
we got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business. No telling how long the cat... Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous. Which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure.
Oh,
There's no
Codsworth
need to be
from
afraid
3?
of this data being weaponized. Knowing that
Interesting.
should calm some of the
I didn't know
captain's fears
Codsworth
and
was
make
in
it
3.
easier for us to dispel
I thought Codsworth
any
was 4
suspicions
alone.
the other factions might have about our intentions. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils
I've
came
played
from
Fallout 4 quite a bit back in the day.
It became an
when it first
unwritten
came
rite
out.
of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the
Hey, quite a bit of
Devils had to do a
76.
stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of Guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy, perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Vivictus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of Vanguard.
Here we go. It's a treadmill.
Ah, welcome. You must be the Captain Hadrian mentioned in her
Captain
report.
Chris.
You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you.
Please tell me I don't have to make a
Perhaps you
precision
could
request.
Summarize for the cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat.
Recognize that voice actor.
They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today.
That worked.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks.
just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sergeant, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Oh, this is not good.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind. Let's get down there.
Hello, Emily. Why? This feels very orchestrated by this person for some reason.
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
That's it. Stop! Now hit him with everything you got.
Help you!
Fine. Can't stop!
The EM weapon! Find it!
I've already done this. What are we waiting for here?
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before.
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control. Turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet.
Well, that's exciting.
You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please.
I need more EM weapons, though.
You're needed elsewhere right now.
I have one. You doing okay today, Emily?